Good evening and a warm welcome to the Dugout. Yes, it's the fag end of the Australian tour. It's been a very, very busy October, November. Let's make it very clear here. We had the West Indies series, we had the Women's World Cup, we had the India Tour of Australia. Everything just is ending one by one, and now we are heading into the final T20I of the series. But before we get to that, let's have a look at all the latest events that's happening. Just before we came here for the Dugout, one major announcement, which is going to give IPL 2026 yet more drama, yet more flavor, and that question, is it happening? Because we've gotten the confirmation. Kasi Vishwanathan spoke with us exclusively, the CEO of Chennai Super Kings, and for all you MS Thala fans, he's not going anywhere. IPL 2026, he is available. So that means more matches, more the focus on MS Dhoni, more the focus on all the things. Which by now, I don't know. I'll tell you why I stopped becoming a Chennai Super Kings fan. People will say, no, it is this obsession. Focus on just one individual and not on the team. That kind of dilutes the whole point of the match. Na? MS Dhoni is not the team. There are 10 other guys. Focus on all of them. Just this obsession with one person or what he's doing doesn't make for good viewing.
I think now, Siddharth, the franchise knows that MS Dhoni is not going to be there forever. Like, it's something that they always knew. The fact that he is now in his twilight, he's in the twilight of his career, that is something that the franchise would have now realized. See, there are conversations that have been happening between the two parties for a while now. Not all conversations are we privy to, but indicators are that, yes, this association is not meant forever. Yeah. As player and franchise. The association between the two of them as a non-player and a franchise could extend and be permanent as well. Who knows? But one thing the franchise, which I do believe Siddharth would have realized, while they can, if they put all their eggs in one basket again, they do know that the man knows how to win the championship. The man knows how to lift the IPL. It's only he, Rohit Sharma, who know it the best. Let's be very clear about that. Would they mind another title if it means putting all the focus on MS Dhoni? I don't think they will. Because they do know for a fact that the franchise will take a huge hit when MS Dhoni once MS Dhoni departs from the scene. And that may not be too long from now. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years. But maybe not beyond that. Yeah. Why I say 2 years? Because we know he would have then honored, which you so often say, the 3-year window. Yeah. And that will give the franchise enough opportunity to go ahead and then build again. Yes. And so much around the franchise will change once MS Dhoni leaves from the scene. They will be prepared for it. There is no way you cannot be prepared for it psychologically. Whether you're able to garner the same sort of resources, whether you're able to just find a way of replacing a Mahendra Singh Dhoni, maybe you will never be able to, because there's only one MS Dhoni. But in terms of getting the same fundamentals back in place, having the same philosophy around the same set of players that Mahendra Singh Dhoni would abide by, which Mahendra Singh Dhoni has imparted, that will be the challenge for the franchise. But the good thing will still be for them that MS is going to be around, and that's something we know for a fact. In some sort of a role, he could be team director, he could be the mentor. He may not have any title, but you still see him in the dugout. Anything can happen.
Like what Sachin Tendulkar is for the Mumbai Indians in that sense. So, yeah, there is one more year. But then see now, like for the title, if any team like from Mumbai or Chennai win a title in 2026, they become the best team in the IPL.
Locked at 5-5.
They are locked at 5-5. And now you've had only 2 teams have not won the IPL. Amongst the marquee teams I'm talking about. About the marquee teams that I'm talking about, only 2 haven't won the IPL title. Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stop right there.
But then see.
You are not counting LSG and Delhi?
I'm talking about the original.
Late entrants, na?
Original.
Late entrants. And I'm pretty sure any LSG fan would not be wanting to be part of this conversation. Like, why?
It's only been 4 years.
Exactly. It's good. GT though again
Again, debut year,
they are
they
ahead.
managed to do well.
They are ahead.
They're an anomaly at this point in time. So that is the reason. So that was one major development that we got, that CSK have confirmed that Dhoni will be there in IPL 2026. So packed houses at Chepauk, packed Thala chants, and the shore meter goes way over 130, 140 decibels. Yeah. But then, where was my tipping point? Where was the focus on all of that? Oh, that Delhi game, remember? CSK versus DC at Chepauk. Dhoni's parents had come. They had never seen a match.
Time he had hit a couple of sixes, na?
No. It was a day game, remember?
Okay.
For the first time, MS Dhoni's parents had come to see him play in a IPL match. We felt, okay, that's it. It's done. The rumors are there. He is retiring. I hope a similar thing doesn't happen this time around. Let's just focus on the game. Let's just focus on that.
See, we've heard from him, Siddhartha, and I don't think he's going to be moving away from what he said.
Yeah.
He said that the Chennai faithful, deserve the kind of send-off, or deserve the opportunity to give the kind of send-off for all that they have showed for me, all the love, all the outpouring. And he said that his last game he would want to play at CSK. And effectively speaking, if they are going into the playoffs, then it has to be, and if there aren't any playoff games in Chennai, then the last league game will have to be his last game in front of CSK fans. If 2026 is going to be the last, otherwise, if they go on champions, who knows? 2027, then the first game could
and
be
the
there.
last, if they reach the final.
And the last as well.
So
But that's for another time altogether. The one thing I do feel is that both the franchise, in fact all three parties, the franchise, the fans, and I think the player concerned as well, all of them want the player concerned to leave on a high.
Absolutely. So that is the thing. But remember, now from this point until December, it is IPL silly season. Let's make no mistake about it. A lot of trade rumors are floating around. Which team will retain how much? When is the mega mini auction? Because now, after 2027 only, 2028, there will be the mega auction.
Yeah.
So that is why until now, you'll see some surprises in the mini auction. So that was one major thing. So yes, whatever it is, we at Sports Really bringing you all of that. But our main focus is the India versus. Will Sanju join CSK? Oh, that needs a separate debate altogether. But technically, when we have to look at it, I think you need a backup wicketkeeper batter, honestly. And there's no better fit than a Sanju Samson. And an out of form, out of favor India wicketkeeper wanting to resurrect his career and coming to a franchisee where careers have been resurrected in the past or have been dumped in the past.
He could just become good friends with Shivam Dube by the end of it.
Yes,
Who knows?
he can. Because see, the talk is he's asked Rajasthan Royals to be released. He's asked.
We know for a
We
while
don't
now.
know.
For almost the whole of 2025, it's been an acrimonious relationship between the Rajasthan Royals and Sanju Samson. So let's see where that story goes. But we're here, since we're talking about Sanju Samson, let's try and answer the first question concerning him. Does he make his way back into the 11th, Siddharth?
See, because now when you look at it, the 5th T20I is happening tomorrow. Okay. India have already taken the series lead and will not lose the series. Unassailable 2-1 lead. We have seen with Suryakumar Yadav, there is a peculiar pattern. If he wins, he doesn't change the side. If he loses 1 or 2 games, he'll then revamp the
But
squad.
that's just both sides, right? You don't see a lot of teams changing a winning combination.
Exactly. And when you look at it, India have lost only 4 games in 2 years. So you've gone with the core, and before a series, you make most of the changes. Before a series, not during the series. Now, if you look at the whole India squad for the ODIs and the T20Is, forget Sanju Samson. There is only one player who has not featured in any of the games officially. He's been there as a substitute. He's taken catches. And that individual is a Rinku Singh. Forget Sanju. Rinku hasn't gotten a chance. So in this 5th T20I that we are looking at in Brisbane, is India going to make some experimentations, or what will be the approach? Because now you won the series, there's no pressure. One in the sense you're not going to lose it. It may be 2-2, it may be a drawn series. But now, how is your approach going to be? Because in Gold Coast, your approach was different compared to 2024, where you played in different conditions. You went gung-ho, 297, 290, 284, 250 plus, 270 plus. You are scoring it on a regular basis. But Australia, what has been your highest total? I think it's been 187, Hobart. And you got big boundaries in Brisbane also.
Yeah.
So can you expect a 200, 250 in Australian conditions? Has India gone away from their original ultra-aggressive template? That is our main debate that we're going to have in the dugout today. Firstly, Harshit, I mean, if you're winning, these kind of things shouldn't matter, right? But why is it mattering now?
See, why it makes for conversation right now is, Siddharth, because what we've seen in this series is India not post those big totals. And what were we spoiled for? We were spoiled for these big totals for not a couple of months, but for one full year after winning the T20 World Cup. We talked about how there was an upswing and a major upswing in those scores after Suryakumar Yadav took over. We saw some cosmetic changes. We didn't see an overhaul. We saw some tweaks here and there, but one thing we know is that changed after Suryakumar Yadav took over and joined forces with Gautam Gambhir, is that the idea was clear that India will play aggressive. They will be the ones to take the initiative to the opposition. That is something we've seen. No matter, but I think till now, why India were able to execute that philosophy and why India were able to exhibit that kind of play had also a lot to do with the conditions in which India were playing. You played a 5-match series against England in India, right? Yeah. You've also
had a 4-match series in South Africa.
Played South Africa 4 matches.
You played in Sri Lanka 3 matches.
South Africa, what have we seen? What has the SA20 told us? Wickets are flattening out over there as well. And did the Indians have a problem over there? No, you were still seeing those good totals being posted over there. It's for the first time. Now then, you also played the Asia Cup, which was played in Dubai, where you had some slowness on offer, but it wasn't always very slow, right? So India, and even if Asia Cup conditions were slow, those conditions still resembled some of the conditions you would get in India, and you know how to get your way around those conditions. You've also got spinners who help you bail out in such situations as well. So these are conditions that did not test India enough, I would say. This was a new challenge that came India's way. Bouncy tracks, sometimes sluggish as well, which you didn't expect Australia to offer. But some of those tracks were sluggish as well. We saw in the ODI series as well. Perth was very bouncy, not necessarily the other 2 matches that we saw. Sydney wasn't. Sydney, the ball came on very nicely, as we saw. So I think in this T20 series, the ODI series as well, what we've seen in Australia, at times there's been bounce on offer. At times I really liked the Gold Coast wicket because I felt there was something for both pacers and spinners, and not every time do you get a pitch like that. I think what we've seen in this series is that this Indian team is willing to play as per the situation as well, and that's what they've done. Is it a bad thing? I don't honestly think so. Because what you will end up getting to is, remember the time you got all out for 125. I think that will happen if you go around slogging. Yes, I know there was rain that played a role in that particular match.
What, Melbourne, right? Or
yeah.
Perth?
125 was where?
It was in Melbourne.
In Melbourne. So yeah, just take a look at what the strike rates were like in the Gold Coast match. There only a few managed in excess of 120. There were quite a lot of them who had scored under 100 strike rate as well, or just around that, and we're not used to seeing those kind of strike rates from the Indian team. But what that tells me is, and you still got to a competitive total of 167, as Shivam Dubey also later said, and isn't that exactly what we'd also said in this room at the halfway stage, that it does look like a competitive total. So I think the Indian team, given the wicket on offer, is willing to recalibrate, and I think I like that. I would want to see that, because not always do you need 200 runs on the board to win a total, and that is something you expect this team management and the players to know as well. Take a look at that. two of your middle order batters in Tilak Verma, Jitesh Sharma had a strike rate of 83 and 75 each. Then you had Shubman Gill at 117, Shivam Dube at 120. So that's four batters over there that were around 100 and 120. In fact, two were less than 100. There were two just in excess of 100. So that tells you that on sticky wickets, they know how is it that they need to go about their business, and they're not perhaps always targeting 200 runs. So I like that approach, if you ask me. I don't want to see 200, 250 totals all the time.
See, somewhere down the line, we were spoilt in 2024 because we encountered conditions where 200, 230, 240 was the norm. And 2024 was a very vital year in T20Is and T20 cricket in general. Why? Because you saw in the IPL 270, 280 being scored for fun. Even that was also sometimes not safe. Imagine 250 plus totals were being breached consistently. India almost breached 300 in a T20I. So that year of 2024 really became like, okay, now is this the direction T20I cricket is heading? But then suddenly from 7th gear, you had to go on a side lane and modify into 5th gear. It's slightly slower, but then you have adapted to that. You can't be going on a side lane at 200 kilometers per hour. In a highway, you can manage in an 8-lane highway, but not in a side lane. What has happened here is, if you go gung-ho on those kind of sticky wickets or those kind of spicy wickets, 2 wickets in Australia gave you spicy wickets. Melbourne and Carrara Oval to an extent. If you went gung-ho, you would be where the Australians were. 118 all out. 120 all out. Why is being flexible? Why is being flexible in according to the conditions being looked at as a curse nowadays?
Why? Have you? Is there something you've read on social media?
I'll tell you, because Shubman Gill's knock is still getting a lot of flack. Okay. And when we had done it, and many people considered it blasphemous on the day of the post-match, like how could you even compare Virat Kohli's 76 or 59 to Shubman's 46? Everybody is maintaining the fact that he is playing for himself. That 46 was for himself only. But when you look at the flexibility, because of Shubman Gill's knocks right from Asia Cup all the way until now, have we lost 7 out of 10 games? No, we went through the Asia Cup undefeated. Here we are not going to lose the series. So where is the problem? I mean, for me, honestly, the talk about conditions and it is getting warped into the fact, oh, our ultra-aggressive approach is gone because you accommodated a Shubman Gill with Abhishek Sharma.
That's not true. If that were the case, then you would have seen the other batters operate at 150, 170 and Shubman Gill being the lone batter to strike the ball at 120. That's not the case.
Again, people will say, okay, bowlers won you the game. Of course, bowlers won you the game, but you need both the batting and the bowling to ensure that you win games. One unit alone cannot win you games. 2024, the batters went ultra-aggressive. The bowlers backed it up. Here, bowlers have not been ultra-aggressive. Batters have not been ultra-aggressive, but the bowlers continue to win you games. It's gone with a combination that 3 spinners are doing the trick for you. In India and Sri Lanka, you will play 3 spinners whenever you play the T20 World Cup, which, by the way, March 7th and from February 7th to March 8th. Those are the dates where the T20 World Cup will be held in India. Okay, that was another major development. That 5 venues in India have been finalized.
Yeah.
All our 4 metros, Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, and your final will be in, you guessed it, Ahmedabad / Colombo, if Pakistan qualify for the final. So, if I have this 3 spinners up my ranks, I'm playing in all conditions. They're all conditions bowlers then. So,
if I'm playing with 3 spinners in Australia
and I'm getting success there,
then what's stopping me from playing those 3 spinners in home conditions?
Yeah, exactly. And several players are also injured. Hardik is injured. Once he comes, the composition is much better. Then you will not have to grapple with the fact, oh, Arshdeep, whether he gets in Shivam Dube, he gets in Harshit Rana, how much more of the experimentation we'll have to do, that we don't know. So, I find this very baffling. I don't think our ultra-aggressive approach has been compromised. I think we are now maturing that if it's a flat wicket, 250 is our main. If it's a sticky wicket, 160,
You know,
170.
what I think this team has evolved into and has, I quite like the fact that they've managed to unearth players who can shift between gear 1 to gear 5.
Yeah.
Maybe even hit gear 6. Tilak Verma exhibited that in the final of the Asia Cup. Sanju Samson has exhibited that time and time again. We know he can hit the ball a fair distance and operate at a good click. Then you look at Rinku, again, less said the better. Because again, you don't really need to talk a lot about Rinku hitting top gear. Shivam Dube is another example. Shivam Dube,
Middle over spin can murder you.
Yes, you bowl pacers, he will have a plan, but spinners, again, the fact that the opposition teams don't want to bowl spinners to him, and that day as well, did he not smack the ball a fair distance when Adam Zampa was brought on? So I think it was ultimately Ellis who got his wicket.
Ellis.
It was a
slower delivery. Back of the hand.
Yeah. So that, and I think that's the beauty of this team. The fact that so many of these players can operate between gear 1 and gear 5. They know it's no longer Suryakumar Yadav who's the only one who can hit 5th gear. Remember, there was this time where you always looked at Suryakumar Yadav was his peak in 2023, 2024. Everything he touched turned to gold, and you could not look at a better batter beyond him. There wasn't any. He may still be one of the very best, but he's not the best right now. But what's happened is, over the last 12 months or so, you've also managed to elevate the other batters. And I think that has been the biggest success of this team. You've added Abhishek Sharma to the mix as well. So there is Abhishek, there is Shubman Gill, who we all know, if conditions do support free-flowing batting, then Shubman Gill does like to free his arms as well. Suryakumar Yadav knows how to do that. Then you got Tilak, who has just recently shown us that under pressure he knows how is it that the game's to be taken deep and when exactly do you unleash the big strokes. So I think that's been the big success of this team, and they do realize it's because they know they've got so many of these players who have the technical nous to be able to shift those gears. And it's a very hard skill if you ask. Not every player can give you runs at 100. We forgot to mention Akshar Patel.
Of course. The best middle order batter that India has had in
Arguably
this
the
2
best,
years.
exactly, arguably the best. He's picking, I think he thrice now what he's done is picked 2 wickets and
20
scored
plus runs.
in excess of 20. It's exactly the kind of player that this team needs. A little bit with the bat, a little bit with the ball, and that those little bits, when they come together, it's like every drop coming together to form the ocean. That's how this team is operating. So that, I think, is what is enabling this team. The fact that they have batting till number 8 and they know they have 8 very highly skilled players.
Talking about one of the players who is under scrutiny at this point in time is our very own captain, Bhau. I mean, it is the strange thing of these times. Your team has put in an era of dominance which will be right up there with many teams. I mean, just losing 4 games in 2 years. If that is not dominance, then what is? Captaincy-wise, he's ticked every box that needs to be.
He will still not be
lose a
losing a
series.
series.
Yes.
And that effectively means that every series that Suryakumar Yadav has captained for India, he has either drawn, as could be the case in this series, or has won that series.
Yes, and that too, won comprehensively he's won. But there is concerns over his form with the bat. Because primarily when you look at it, the Indian team may be winning, but one of the dark undercurrents that is there and which has kind of been swept under the carpet is Suryakumar Yadav's form. Let's admit it, 2025 has not been a very kind year to Suryakumar Yadav.
It's been awful.
From a strike rate of 170 plus to an average of close to 50 to now in 2025 having an average of less than 25 with a strike rate of just over 120.
No, 105.
105. Imagine. That is Suryakumar Yadav. Suryakumar Yadav we are talking about at this point. Are you worried? Firstly, as a fan, because see, many people believe that now is the time, change your captain if he's not performing with the bat. But if the team is winning, what is the harm? Does a captain need to score big 50s and big 100s to stay relevant? Are you worried about his form, honestly? Or do you think it's just a small matter? Wait until February, March and then take a call.
I remember saying that I wasn't worried after the Asia Cup got over, which is where he also underwhelmed.
Yes.
Just
Just 147 score.
Yeah, and I said that again, it's 5-6 games, and I'm willing to look past the 5-6 game. I also said I was willing to look past whatever had happened earlier in the year as well. But now when I look at, and I think I have enough sample size now to come to the conclusion, yes, things are wrong with Suryakumar Yadav right now. Something needs to happen. He's tried giving himself time as well at the crease. Second T20I, he looked very good.
Second T20I, Melbourne? No.
36. When did he score those 36 runs?
It was Manuka
Manuka.
Canberra. First T20I.
First T20I. So he looked good, 36 odd that he scored. But again, you didn't have a result to that particular match. After that, it's been underwhelming. Suryakumar Yadav with the bat. So I think now you've seen enough to indicate that yes, there are things that are not going right for Suryakumar Yadav and he needs to find a solution. What that solution is, unfortunately, I cannot offer at the moment. I think he's trying a lot of things.
As a selector, if there was no T20 World Cup, okay, in the next 4-5 months, it would be next year, next to next year, okay, assuming. Would you drop Suryakumar Yadav on the basis of his form?
If there was no
T20 World Cup,
I would.
you would?
Yes.
Okay. Despite the team winning.
However, yes, Siddharth, absolutely. Then I'm not looking at him as my leader, right? Then I'm not looking at him as a leader. Simple as that. Again, see, I like to go by the philosophy that the captain doesn't have to be over there just because he's the captain. You've got to first make your best 11. The captain must be an automatic fit over there. The captain does not have to be put into the team because he's the captain. At the moment, Suryakumar Yadav may not be one of your best 11 players that the country can put together to form a team. I'm very clear about that. So if I didn't have an eye on the World Cup, I've seen how the years gone by. It's the Indian cricket team we're talking about. Players who deserve to be are more often than not out of the side. And in that case, Suryakumar Yadav, by that logic, it's been an extended run then. If he's not my captain, if I'm not looking at the T20 World Cup, then I've got no reason to stick with him as captain. And I'm then willing to look beyond. If there is no World Cup through the entirety of 2026 I'm going with, then why not?
That'll be a tough call because what do you look at? A personal milestone that he's winning or the team winning entirely with the level of dominance? Because Surya as a captain has ticked all the boxes. Then do you look at his batting form? What if it was vice versa? His batting form is great, but the team isn't doing well. What do you do then?
That's also a problem.
Big problem.
That's also a problem. But I think the greater problem right now is also Siddharth, where the team is right now in T20 cricket. I doubt hypothetically also to be able to think of that possibility that the team's on a losing streak per se. They're just right up there when it comes to T20 cricket. But Surya's form does need attention. But I don't think you will take, and I also am in agreement that you need not take a call on him right now, purely because your World Cup is now
3 months away.
Just 3 months away. You're touching distance away from the World Cup. It's at arm's length, I would put it that way. There are only a few matches left now for you to prepare, get things in order. Hopefully home conditions will get the best out of Surya. I don't really care if it's 1KD. I don't care if it's a flat track in Ahmedabad or in Delhi. Doesn't matter. If it's the World Cup, if it gets the surfaces aid a certain batter, and if that's my captain, and arguably one of the better batters to have ever played T20 cricket, I don't mind that one bit.
Looking at the position where he is, are you okay with the 20 of 10? 2 sixes, strike rate of 200.
There's something that Ravichandran Ashwin said in that regard, I believe.
Which is what? Because before I come to Ravichandran Ashwin's comment, I want your analytical mind. Okay, you've seen Surya sample size. He's played.
See, Siddharth, it's not too bad, but it's not ideal either. It's not too bad.
Okay.
But it's not ideal because I would rather take a 35-40 off half the deliveries.
Okay, so you want double that.
I don't need a 50.
Okay.
It can be a quick fire 40. If I can get about 3,
then it
4,
doesn't allay the doubt. It's still stuck in the middle then. Arey yaar, he's at 40 of 20. What Suryakumar Yadav can do much
so
better.
If he is doing that, for more than half the times, What has his strike rate become? Close to 200.
200.
Averaging just about, if he can do that once every couple of innings. Again, this team's not obsessed with averages anyway. I know in that case, the average will be just down to 20 then. But that strike rate again, and I'm looking at some of the other batters who've elevated themselves. I think I'll take that.
Okay, because this is what Ravichandran Ashwin said on his YouTube channel, because he was addressing two things. One, Surya's form and Gill's knock in Gold Coast, okay? Suryakumar Yadav, when you look at it, he's okay with the 20 of 10.
Also, yeah, then he'll be averaging, if he's giving me those many runs, I think he'll be averaging just about 40, strike rate of close to 200. I'll take that. T20 cricket.
Sure. Because he says, Ravichandran Ashwin mentioned that I'm okay with the 20 of 10. Because what that does is, he's at least aggressive. He's showing that intent. That is the key reason for me why I believe that I don't need to worry about Ravichandran Ashwin's form. I mean, Suryakumar Yadav's form in that sense. So that is what Ashwin is saying. Whether you agree with him or not, or whether you don't think that, okay, Surya needs to score more, that is there. So this debate will always be there. If he doesn't do well in South Africa and New Zealand, the two series that's coming up afterwards, it's not going to be easy. Then if he survives until March and he has a good IPL and then he gets picked for England, he's a very lucky man than Suryakumar Yadav. But on Gill's knock, in that Ravichandran Ashwin mentioned that yes, Shubman Gill's knock, because you knew that a total of 160 was good on that wicket, he set out to play the knock that was expected on that particular wicket. But if you are chasing, then you cannot have that kind of a knock. He kind of addressed both situations. Like if you chase, a strike rate of 110, 125, 130 is just not acceptable. That's what he said. A strike rate of 200 is acceptable than a strike rate of 125 or 135 while chasing. That is the main thing that he mentioned in that. So that's why Gill, before we get to the comments, Gill, I know that one last T20I is there. I don't think there will be any changes. If he doesn't have a good T20I series, then this this T20I match, it's been a colossal failure in this Australia tour. 3 ODIs, he didn't do well. 5 T20Is, 46 and a 47. But then in the other 2, he failed.
See, I think the only way Shubman Gill can put these doubts to rest is by putting up a big total. There is unfortunately no other way.
As an opener, he has to, yes.
That's the only way I see that happening, Siddharth, because these questions will only grow and will get louder the way that I see, because people will not be able to separate, and I don't blame any fan over there at all, to separate the fact that so much has happened in Shubman Gill, or there's been a lot of collateral damage. Let's put it that way. Shubman Gill being elevated to ODI captaincy, Shubman Gill coming into the T20I setup has led to a lot of collateral damage, and I don't think people can put the two things aside of one, that the team management, the BCCI is looking at Shubman Gill as future all-format leader. 2, then comes his personal form. People are being stuck with just the form, and that's right. You have every right to question a player if he's playing for India. Then those numbers should read, or they cannot be glowing numbers always. It's sport after all, but those numbers must then back your or make a case for you to be in the 11.
Agree. Totally agree. Because see, as an opener, he has to score big. He's the only guy who can potentially play all 20 overs. So he has to maximize the whole thing. But Harshad, correct me. What do you think of my assessment in this particular situation? If Shubman Gill doesn't do well in the T20I format, okay. Supposing he doesn't do well even in the South Africa series as well, in the T20I.
Are we going as far as considering the World Cup also, he doesn't have a good one?
Yes, because see, I think he might be there in the World Cup squad. T20 World Cup squad, okay? Because you're looking at him as an all format. Now the word that I'm saying, all format. If Shubman Gill doesn't do well in the T20Is, can we then chuck this concept out of the window of being all format players? Does this current era allow you to be all format players?
While I remember us having this conversation after The BGT got over earlier this year, and I thought that once Rohit and Virat had retired, and the fact that you were looking at a new start for Indian cricket, and there were so many ups and downs that have happened in Indian cricket. I thought the platform was already there. Shubman Gill hadn't made it to the T20I side. I thought that was a very good indicator in the sense that yes, he can always make a strong case for himself, play domestic. IPL, if he continues to be good, then you have him in the 11, and then that must also mean that some of the other players like an Abhishek and Yashasvi aren't doing as well as then Shubman Gill would be doing. But I felt you had that platform, but you didn't take it. The opportunity was there for you to look at an all for different captains for different formats, but that could have then meant sticking with Rohit Sharma. So Rohit had he been your ODI captain, Surya been your T20I, and Gill been white, then you would have had 3 captains, and you probably would have then built on, because you have 3 different leaders, you could have built on that thought of having different teams as well. I'm all for having specialists, maybe a white ball core you can have, but definitely a red ball team of just full of specialists and people who then need to be compensated better, and whatever, you need to come up with a formula for that as well. But I am all for that. I am all for preserving players for just white ball and for red ball. If there are highly skilled players out there who can manage both, given their workload and everything, then that's a blessing for Indian cricket. Otherwise, don't always do you find players who can do all 3 formats. And if that's the case, then let's not try and mold people into becoming all format captains just because it makes for logistical ease, just because this is something that has happened. Yes, there are going to be some stutters along the way if you were to build on this thought, but why not?
See, this Shubman Gill experiment, I look at it as an experiment only. It will determine your future course whether you can have all format players. If Shubman Gill doesn't prosper, then I think Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli were your last all format greats. That's it. Nobody in this current era, looking at the amount of cricket that you play, can have that consistency across all 3 formats. It's virtually impossible. So, by 2026 March, I think you would have found an answer that yes, India can't have an all format player. It can at max speed too. This goes for both batting and bowling. Bowling is a different dynamic because you can pick and choose. In the case of Jasprit Bumrah, in a T20 World Cup year, he will skip ODIs and he'll play only T20Is and tests because it's a WTC. ODI World Cup year, he'll skip T20Is, play ODIs and tests. So that is why. So this is the current situation. Shubman Gill will be that possible era definer. That yes, prior to him, you could be all format players, but now it's impossible to be all format players. And it will be determined after March 2026. By the way, heading into the 5th T20I, we'll take the comments now, but will we see any changes?
I doubt.
Whether we'll get a game.
Sorry?
We'll get a game. Because the weather forecast is 79% rain in the evening. Brisbane, at this time, Ashes first test build up, when you look at it, second test build up, it always rains in Brisbane at this time. So,
Will SANJU play?
that is the thing. For that to happen, see, there are 3 questions. Will SANJU play? Will Rinku play? If he get a game. Will Nitish play? Because Nitish was ruled out for 3 T20Is.
I know. 4th he didn't play while we were told available. I don't think from that update that we got on him, there's been a second update, or
No.
if he heard anything from the captain, Dubey didn't say anything in the post match.
Exactly.
So we don't know.
So, if a game happens, I mean, you can check out, we have done a weather report. It's not looking good for Brisbane. In the evening time in particular, you got a 79% chances of rain. What do you think? Will you play the 3 names that I mentioned in this T20I, or do you think Surya will not make changes?
Very difficult to say, Siddharth. You've really put me in a spot. But perhaps if Nitish Kumar Reddy is available,
Then rest of Dubey.
then I'd like to see him play. I don't know whether you rest Dubey or Washi.
Rest Surya, play
Rest a captain. Shivam, a producer, saying rest Surya the captain. Then who will lead? Shubman Gill.
that test match, na?
Yeah, but see, now there is no pressure. because you're not going to lose the series. So I think there is scope for changing the team. There is a scope. You can get in 2-3 guys. Get a Rinku. I would like to see a Rinku Singh come in. If Nitish comes in, then Dubey takes rest. Let's ensure Jasprit Bumrah takes rest.
Bumrah can also take rest. Yeah.
But he's played for 3 T20Is. The first T20I, obviously he didn't bowl, but 3 T20Is. Should he be rested? Because, see, after that, 5 days later, he has to be in the test match against South Africa at home. So, does it make sense to rest him? I would rest him. Honestly, I would rest a Bumrah. I would get in a SANJU, but at whose expense? Get in instead of Jitesh? Jitesh has played 2. He's not done that well.
Play Jitesh, rest Gill, because he will also play the test.
But I think the BCCI got a mandate for you play all the games. That's the thing. I don't think a Gill is resting. So, and that is why.
Let's dive into the comments now.
Yep. So you believe no changes. I believe 3 changes might happen tomorrow because there's no pressure of losing the series. So Vishal Panchal from the US is saying, I said Gill and marketing, no insult. He's brilliant, but pushing him into T20, I think to make him Indian cricket's poster boy, hurt YJ, Sanju and Rinku. Really, but then see, did he tell the selectors, make me the poster boy?
Also, while I understand Yashasvi Jaiswal, I'm not too sure, and Sanju to an extent, how Rinku got affected, I'm not too sure about that. I think that's down to the fact that there's no Hardik also.
Yeah.
Because the combination is such, again, so many things about this team rely on Hardik Pandya.
See, in 2024, Rinku didn't get to face any deliveries. Because the Indian team was so dominant.
Yeah.
So how did Shubman Gill impact this? I don't know. Which is why I have no idea. See, that's what Gill is fighting, a multi-pronged war.
There's only one way. As was said for Hardik Pandya, how can he get rid of, or how can he have these fans who are booing him, cheer for him, put on the Indian jersey? I think that's what somebody had said. Likewise for Gill, the only way that he can get rid of this noise is by scoring big runs. Yes. That's the only way.
Yeah, which is what Freaking Awesome is saying. Gaba is another sporting wickets in this series. Yes, but for that, we need a game.
Space friendly.
And Australia have a good record there. Only 1 loss that they have, and that was 12 years ago against the West Indies. That was Hazelgod's first game.
Can we go up, Shivam? I think there are a few family members who've shared their 11. Okay, Suryakumar has, I think, shared his 11.
Yeah, no, or is it for his T20 World Cup squad?
I think let's first read his. He's shared his 11 and the reserves, I think.
Yeah.
So he's gone with Abhishek, Gill, Sanju, Tilak, Pandya, Aksar, Dubey, Sundar, Varun and Bumrah.
That's your 11. So basically you've got...
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand.
3 pacers.
In Hardik, Bumrah,
Dubey. He's not got a Nitish.
There's no Nitish, there's no Arshdeep.
Arshdeep is there in the reserves. That's the thing. Well, I think one of our family members was correct when he said, if only Bumrah rests, Arshdeep gets a game.
Yeah, I remember that comment.
This is for the
T20 World Cup. Yeah, Arshdeep, Nitish, Pant. What happened to a Jitesh here? Suddenly Pant gets parachuted.
But okay, there's this work.
Rinku 16, Iyer 17, Rana 18. Okay. And more reserves than Jaiswal and Siraj. By 15-member squad for the World Cup.
Also, you're hosting.
You're hosting, exactly. Co-hosting rather.
Co-hosting, yeah.
Yeah. So, Kapil Dev GM is saying to me, said Wesley So's resignation in drawn position was most exciting event in this World Cup where he couldn't find stalemate. World Cup known for big guys early, except Northerbeck also lost in game 1. Exactly. I mean, that's why the Chess World Cup is a brutal format. Yeah, you're playing tennis games, essentially 6-7 hours. And you come back the next day, resume another tennis game in that sense. So it is a brutal format. And yeah, so many people have lost. Nepomniachtchi is lost. Wesley So's gone. Hans Niemann's gone. Arvind Chidambaram's out. So yes, lots and lots of changes that have happened. So Freaking Awesome's got his 15-member squad for a 2026 T20 World Cup.
He's gone with Jaiswal Abhishek. Wow.
Whoa.
Left the vice captain.
Yeah, that's a bit idealistic, but who knows?
Number 3 Tilak, 4 Surya, 5 Aksar, 6 Hardik, 7 Jitesh. So no Washi as well. Oh no,
Washi's there, 8.
No Samson as well in his side.
Yeah, 9 is Varun Chakravarti, 10 is Arshdeep, 11 is Bumrah, Sanju is your backup keeper, 13 is Kuldeep, Rinku, NKR, Harshit.
Good 15.
It is a very, very good 15, but we all know that remove a Jaiswal. I know my heart breaks, but it will be
Vice
Gill.
captain, yaar.
I know you're moving, but again, a vice captain, it's not the holy grail where, okay, his place is secured. KL Rahul will attest to that. He was vice captain, suddenly he was dropped, he's no longer in leadership role. Maybe it could happen to Gill also, who knows. So, Ramalingam Shankar saying, you guys are very partial towards Gill and defend him always. KL has scored close to 2,265 runs at an average of 38 and a strike rate of 140. But you guys keep targeting him for no reason. We targeted KL Rahul for only the 2022 T20 World Cup. And for his knocks in the IPL, which those numbers, by the way, they hide a very this thing. See, I had mentioned that SRH versus LSG encounter 24. On a placid deck, KL Rahul hit 68 of 59. Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma hit 9 overs, 167. What do you do then? Then that knock will come under scrutiny. Na? Similarly, in 2022, whenever KL Rahul opened the batting, unfortunately, the perception was that India were playing a T19, not a T20. Because first over was always a maiden. How would you fight those perceptions? We didn't do those perceptions. Yes, he's got a great average, better than Gill. But what do you do then? So, King D is saying, bring back KL Rahul. He's more consistent version of Gill and a wicketkeeper to 2 spots freed. But again, we don't want to play a T19. How on earth can we fit him in?
But you've got Sanju, yaar.
Yeah, what wrong does
Man
Sanju Samson
scored.
do? Exactly.
Hundreds for you now.
Yeah. So, Arvind Atriya saying, Harshit's side doesn't have technique against moving ball. Jurel should bat at Thiev's side doesn't score against SA.
Here, Jurel, by the way, exhibited his brilliance yet again.
132.
Exactly. He
of
bailed out.
255 runs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think you folded for 225?
255.
255. And you wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for... See, Jurel, Arvind, right?
Arvind Atriya, yeah.
I must say, Jurel is really making a strong case for himself. Especially in red ball cricket.
Yeah.
I think time and again, good that he got that one match in Sydney, in the BGT as well.
Jurel? No, Jurel got in Perth.
No, he played the last one, na Siddharth?
No, it was Pant only who played. Pant, Nitesh and all, they played Sydney.
I'm just confusing again, sorry.
He played West Indies.
West Indies, yeah.
Yeah, 175 runs in 3
And he
innings.
played the Oval.
Yeah, he played Oval.
So one thing, I'm really liking about Jurel is that he's getting limited opportunities and he's making a strong case for himself. That is one thing I'm really liking. And I think he's already made a mark. And in fact, the mark is so good that you can, while I know there aren't any spots at the moment in the 11, but you can look at playing him just as a batter, even if there is a fully fit Rishabh Pant. There is no better wicketkeeper batter than a Rishabh Pant right now, hands down.
Correct.
But if need be, while I know there's a Sarfaraz as well, while I know there are a couple of other batters in Paddikal that you're trying out also, but if for whatever reasons there may be that you're not looking at a Sarfaraz, then just play Jurel. I think he is making a very strong case for a batter who can bat good 2-3 positions up and down. Though he's batted 6 most times, but I think the caliber of the man is such, you want to bat him 4 at some point, can go ahead and do that totally.
Yep, indeed. So the final comment that we'll take is Vishal Pandya. Sanju opening frees up 1 spot for Rinku. Yes, it does. It does.
Naturally.
You go back to your 2024 squad then.
Yeah, naturally.
Post T20 World Cup. You got Abhishek, Sanju, Sky, Tilak, Hardik, Rinku, Aksar. That's 7. Dubey or Dubey higher. Aksar, Rinku, and you got Kuldeep, Varun and Bumrah or Arshdeep. That's how, yes, Sanju opening will get a slot for Rinku.
Maybe if you need one all-rounder, then play Washi.
Washi. Or instead of Dubey, play a Washi. Whatever. If you don't want a pace bowling all round, you've already got a Hardik.
I will again say this on the question of Rinku Singh. While I know you've come up with this thing that I would not repeat what Surya says, because 1 and 2 for me are fixed and I'm yet to see a new 1 and 2 for India. So 3 to 7, while Surya says you've got to be flexible. But when you say that, there is no fixed finisher for the side. Yes, Aksar did well the other day, but he wasn't finishing per se. He played the finishing touches just to the innings because India weren't chasing. However, I feel a finisher's job, just as the opener's job, is very technical, is a specialist job. I think the finisher's job is also special. I just hope India, especially in the T20 World Cup, don't see a day where the couple of people that you rely upon right now aren't able to take you over the line.
Correct. So yes, that is the way when you look at it. Anshu Mishra is like saying, Sidvi, so finally ICC realized their mistake of the biggest worst role, not giving players medal who was most significant winning World Cup, and gave medal to player who was on the bench, Pratika Rawal.
I know, Anshu, what you're talking about. We both know that.
We both know that.
However, ICC hasn't yet officially said anything. Yes, we saw 16 medals.
Yeah, watch the OTV. What is the whole situation? Please check out that video that we have explaining why this current situation came up with those inputs that we have given you. So,
And before we go, how is it that we can ignore a comment from the great Sachin Tendulkar?
oh no, Sachin Tendulkar, okay. So what has the little master said at this point? Bumrah, Arsh, Varun, Hardik fixed. Do you pick Sundar and Aksar or Kuldeep and Rinku? Which combo? First, all-rounder heavy. Second, best 7 batters and 4 bowlers. Can't win World Cup without 2 good death bowlers in death. I would go with second. Best 7 batters and 4 bowlers.
Then I'm also tempted to go with Kuldeep and Rinku.
Yeah, Kuldeep and
But
Rinku.
somehow I would look forward to fitting in an Aksar. Just because how good a utilitarian he is.
But then you need to play Arsh and Bumrah. That's where your power play and your death is sorted. If you just play Bumrah, your death and power play will get compromised. So that is the thing. So yeah,
But in Indian conditions, Siddharth, I think you'll again see what you saw in the Champions Trophy. Hardik Pandya plus Jasprit Bumrah.
but Hardik's form with the ball is worrying. With the bat, okay, he can still win you games.
He's been a touch expensive.
Yes, and Dubey outbowled him. That's the worrying part. So, yep, that is about it. We are going to build up for the India versus Australia 5th T20I that's going to take place. Hopefully, there is a game. Otherwise, rain is going to play a big role. But don't worry, we have got you covered in Sports Today from me and Harshit. We'll also be joined by Shane tomorrow. So, bye-bye. See you. Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables. Don't trouble your mother. Stay safe. Subscribe to Sports Today. More videos coming your way.
Bye-bye.
Bye.